To be followed by Spurs, and Osvaldo Ardilles of Argentina is a man clearly under a lot of pressure. Quite apart from the tension of a semi-final, and that's severe enough, it's a weekend when his mind must be full of his country's activities at the moment in the Falkland Islands. And Ardilles, a sensitive man who's been a great ambassador for his country since he came here in 1978, is due to leave for Argentina this weekend to rejoin his World Cup squad. Well, Ardilles takes his place in this Tottenham side, as do Steve Archibald and Garth Crooks, recovered from injury, and the substitute is Paul Miller. As for Leicester City, a strong Scottish flavour in their side, 6 out of that 12 in fact, and one of them, Eddie Kelly, was sent off in midweek against Shrewsbury, but that doesn't affect his appearance here today. Their top scorer is the 21-year-old Gary Lineker with 14. So Eddie Kelly, his experience has been of greatest importance to this young Leicester side, a man who scored in a cup final for Arsenal back in 1971. Well, again, the Tottenham mascot is on the pitch. The referee is Neil Midgley of Salford, his first semi-final. And it's Leicester City then who get us away in the shirts of blue, white shorts, attacking the goal to our left. As Spurs in white get underway, and a bad pass there by Ardilles, incidentally, who was booed by a section of the crowd the moment he touched the ball. And, well, there's Linex, but it's the other number 7, Ardilles, who clearly is going to be under a little bit of pressure here. And a free kick to Leicester City in the opening half-minute of the game, with Williams crossing it there, Hoddle getting it away. Here's Peake, the 27th semi-final played at Villa Park in post-war years, and Young offside, a free kick to Tottenham. Spurs, who beat Arsenal, Leeds, Aston Villa and Chelsea to get here, Leicester getting here by way of Southampton, Hereford, Watford and Shrewsbury. Well, they haven't made it that uncomfortable for Spurs in the opening minutes, but on the other hand, they haven't allowed Spurs to express themselves. And I think Leicester possibly were encouraged by the way Spurs' stamina seemed to wilt in the later stages of the League Cup final, and feeling that if they keep at their throats long enough, then the unexpected might just happen. Well, it's a corner for Spurs now. And Young is down and injured. And goodness knows, after the traumas of their last round of the Cup at Shrewsbury, Leicester could well do without injury. And in fact, when Wallington went off, it was this fellow, Alan Young, who went in as an emergency goalkeeper. And he seems to be in trouble. I think it was possibly only he was jumping with Galvin. Well, let's have a look. Whole lot of them bunched in there together, and it may have been Galvin falling on Young. Looks almost as though Alan Young is finding difficulty in standing, and Clements keeping himself alert while the hold-up continues. So the corner taken, it's Ardilles now on the ball for Tottenham. Hazard, Hoddle, a strike just wide of that Leicester City goal, and the first serious strike on it the Spurs have mounted with 12 minutes of the game gone. Hazard playing it nicely into the path of Tottenham's number 10, and Hoddle cracking it well. There was a bit of a bobble there as a point of fact. Kelly with the free kick, and Lineker over the top. Well, that could have been a problem. They all strained for it and didn't reach it. Lineker didn't know where it was for a moment. When he found it, his scooping shot was over the bar. Coming towards the half-hour mark in this FA Cup semi-final at Villa Park, and no score. Now Archibald on the turn, and Wallington down. Well, there was a great economy about that effort. A long ball from the back. Crooks didn't get a touch. Archibald was onto it, and Wallington was down. Roberts, like a battleship charging through there. He takes an awful lot of stopping. He really does. And in the end, he's forcefully found Garth Crooks. Tottenham's throw. Archibald. Crooks, a shot that's wide, and a corner. Just clipping off, it must have been Paul Fryer, the young fullback. Good spirit in this game. You saw the smile on the face of Mark Wallington there, having a word with Garth Crooks, as Hoddle now takes another corner for Tottenham. Archibald's backward header. Price with a chance of turning it back in. Houghton. Hazard. Now Hoddle. Steve Archibald for Hoddle again. Archibald this time for Perryman. The ball played in early and flicked on in the first place by Galvin. Peak was beaten, in fact, by the header of Galvin. Here's Hazard on his way. Still on his way. A left foot shot and a good save. And in fact, there goes the half-time whistle, and Leicester City from the Second Division have done what they said they would do. Contested every ball, fought all the way. The favourites, Tottenham, know this is going to be a very difficult semi-final to win. With a half-time score here at Villa Park, Leicester 0, Spurs 0, as Spurs get us away at the start of the second half. They're in white, remember, attacking the goal to our left now. Against a Leicester City side that have been in 4 cup finals since the war, but have never won the cup. Roberts, a backward pass, and he didn't really look closely enough, and Lineker was always lurking. In the end, it was safe, and it's safer now for Tottenham that it's with their captain, Steve Perryman. Crooks. Perryman continued that run and got the early ball in, but O'Neill was on the end of it for Leicester. Spurs with the throw. And they are making a substitution, Leicester. And it's Alan Young, who was in the wars quite early in the game and has been hobbling a little bit lately, who goes off. And it's Jim Melrose, who got a couple of goals in the last round against Shrewsbury and has scored 11 this season, who's come on. And it's a strictly one-for-one substitution so far as strikers are concerned. There's a corner off Paul Fryer for Tottenham. Hoddle again will take it. Roberts, and this time Price has come forward as well. Played for Ardilles. Coming into Crooks! Brilliantly executed corner and a brilliantly taken goal. Well, a glorious moment for Tottenham, and a superb strike by their number 11, Garth Crooks, and a moment to savour for the thousands of Tottenham's fans. The corner's played short to Ardilles, the little chip in, and there's the volley wide of Wallington, and Crooks has put Spurs into the lead. That's a Tottenham throw, and it leaves Tommy Williams in a bit of distress. But sufficiently off the field, I would think, yes indeed, for the referee to say we're going to go on. Houghton, Crooks, Hazard. This will come for Galvin, and a lot of space with Tommy Williams still out of action. Finding Hazard. A bit weak down that side of the field at the moment, Leicester City. Here's Hoddle with all the tricks, finding Hazard. And still Williams out of the action. as Hoddle flicks one in there. Crooks trying to get in behind that back four, and Kelly getting it away. Well, that is desperate news for Leicester City. Tommy Williams on a stretcher, and Leicester a goal down, now reduced for the last quarter of an hour to 10 men. Well, you have to say, if Spurs can keep their discipline going and their running, they should eventually arrive through to another Wembley final with this goal advantage and time running out and against 10 men. Should arrive, but will they? Here's Galvin. Strong challenge there by Linex, but Galvin has the strength as Linex comes back at him again, and he's gone past Larry May as well. Crossed in once more towards Hazard and Crooks, and it's an own goal by Wilson. Commiserations there from Archibald, and if Leicester's troubles weren't enough, that puts the seal on them. Well, Galvin went past May, he played a ball in, and in fact hit it straight at Wilson, who aimed a pass back at his goalkeeper. Look at this. Gently over Wallington's head, neatly into the back of the net. Misery for Leicester, and Spurs already beginning to celebrate another appearance at Wembley. Poor Ian Wilson. Hasn't scored this season for Leicester, but he's put one in the wrong net now. Galvin, that's a foul, and it wasn't a very pleasant one either by Linex. I think Leicester have a feeling, which is a view I don't share, that Galvin was responsible for Tommy Williams. It looked as though it was a 50-50 challenge, I must say, from my angle. Galvin on Williams. And Linex maybe was seeking a little bit of revenge. Well, here's Galvin again. Here's Houghton, and here's Crooks. Oh, and here's Houghton, and it could have been 3. And I think it's all up now for Leicester, with Spurs about to make a substitution, and they're going to bring on defender Paul Miller as Houghton puts that chance wide. And they're going to take off Graham Roberts from the centre of the back four. Is he hobbling a little bit as he goes off? Roberts is going off in any case, getting a standing ovation from the Spurs fans. They know the debt Spurs owe to him. When things looked a little bit rocky once or twice in this game, a really big, strong character, as indeed is Paul Miller, who's come on to replace him at the centre of the defence. Crooks. And Fryer. Oh, Hoddle's got the better of him. And there are men waiting in the middle. Oh, there's a foul by young Paul Fryer on Hoddle, which is incurring the wrath of the Spurs fans right behind him there. And the 18-year-old's name goes into the book for the foul on Hoddle. Don't think he can complain. Hoddle with the free kick. Galvin poised outside the box. Paul Miller's going in there as well, and it's hit powerfully but straight at the keeper. Fryer stopped by Ardilles. About 3 minutes left. Hoddle. Houghton to Hazard. Perryman. Still Perryman, and a little touch for Archibald. A good save. Ardilles. don't think their heart is really in it at the moment now, Leicester. I think they realise that it's a foregone conclusion, and a deflection there for a moment I thought was going to embarrass Wallington. Just a couple of minutes remaining. Houghton putting it away for a Leicester throw. Melrose still full of running. A substitute. Finding Peake. Houghton. And that should be a Tottenham throw. It is. Spurs fans getting behind Aussie Ardilles. There's only one Ardilles, they're saying, in response to a lot of booing that's come his way from the Leicester fans this afternoon. Ardilles, who's now playing his last game before he goes back to Argentina to join the Argentine World Cup squad, but they have said he could be back for the final. May. Price with a header, and Kelly. And Peake here. Now, will he let foot drive? Just wide of that Tottenham goal. Last minute of the game now. Referee looking at his watch. Spurs fans already getting to their feet. Already beginning to clap and chant a victory chorus as Crooks chases the ball again to the byline. Support by Galvin, but wanting Linex to make his challenge. Well, they certainly know the way to Wembley, all right. It'll be the fourth time in a little over a year. They've made it. The holders are back at Wembley again, Spurs, with the goals by Crooks. And then that tragic own goal by the Leicester midfield player, Ian Wilson. Jock Wallace and Keith Birkinshaw, who were both together way back at Workington. Now they've been on a much bigger stage, and it's Birkinshaw who's beaten Wallace and his Second Division Leicester City side. The two managers go off. A game played overall in a pretty good spirit. And Spurs just pulling out those goals when it mattered most, when it looked as though the running and the competitive spirit of Leicester might take them into extra time and maybe even further. So a full-time score here at Villa Park. Leicester City 0, Tottenham Hotspurs 2.